Hey everyone, Lincoln right here, and welcome back to Paint on Plastic. Today we're diving into a quick but critical weathering technique, Abrasion Real Chipping. This stage adds authenticity and a well-worn narrative to your model, and I'm excited to show you how it's done. Chipping is one of my favorite ways to tell a story with a model. Every scuff, scratch, and scrape suggests a history, as if this machine has endured a harsh environment, telling the tale of age and wear. For this step, I'll be using abrasion tools to simulate surface wear. We'll build on the layers of textured paint already on the model to recreate the effects of time, exposure, and the unforgiving conditions of space. Imagine the relentless lunar UV radiation and the abrasive force of lunar regolith. Using these concepts, we'll create convincing damage that feels natural and purposeful. These techniques work particularly well because of the high quality and durable acrylic lacquer paint I'm using for this build. Specifically, I've used Mr. Color and Gaia Notes paints, which have excellent sandable properties. This allows for precise manipulation, resulting in realistic and visually striking effects. It's important to note that this approach wouldn't work as effectively with water-based acrylics, as they lack the same durability and flexibility. For water-based paints, I tend to focus on additive weathering steps, things like layering pigments or washes, which I'll demonstrate on another model finish. But for this project, it's all about subtractive techniques, where we can reveal underlying layers to tell the story of age, wear, and exposure on an acrylic lacquer finish. I start with a slightly worn sanding sponge, wet, in an 800 grit. This gently polishes the surface and finds the texture laid down during the earlier mottling and pre-painting steps. Because the airbrushed paint was applied thinly, it conforms closely to the surface, while thicker brushed applications stand just slightly proud. This makes the sponge perfect for subtly abrading the topmost layer of paint, in this case the SDR light grey, which I'll simply refer to as white paint. I focus on high impact areas, edges, corners, and places where moving parts might rub together. The key here is storytelling. Where has this machine been? What forces have caused this wear and tear? Next I use a Yasuri stick hard, which I'll call a file stick, made by the Wave folks. It's a rigid sanding stick that offers tight, straight lines, perfect for replicating scratches and cuts that feel organic but controlled. It's a tool I underestimated initially, but now find invaluable for creating sharp, defined marks that complement the softer sponge effects. The real beauty of this method is in revealing the layers beneath. During the earlier painting steps, we laid down multiple colors, oxide red, hemp's secret sauce, and then the white top coat. By carefully abrading through these layers, we reveal tonal variations that add depth. Lighter tones mimic fresher chips, while darker hues suggest deeper scratches and weathering. I also use small squares of 400 grit sandpaper, folded to create straight edges, perfect for fine linear scratches. Afterward, I return to the sponge to smooth and blend the effects into the surface. For precise work, a diamond file with a hard, straight edge is excellent for cutting into the paint layers, and I like to use the Hasegawa scribe tool for very fine, freehand scratches in key areas. Have you ever tried creating surface damage like this? What methods worked best for you? Let's share tips in the comments. This community always has incredible ideas. When moving to the main hull of the ALTAIR, I applied the same techniques I've shown here, but with one exception: high energy impacts. To simulate damage from micrometeorites or debris from explosions, I used a circular or conical diamond file. By lightly pressing it perpendicular to the surface and drilling it into the paint, not to create a clean hole, but just enough to deform the surface and damage the paint, I replicated the effect of high energy impacts. This subtle surface deformation adds realism and interest. The ALTAIR is one of the models I cover in depth in the Ma.K Lincoln Report Volume 3 Großer Hund, available exclusively from me at PaintOnPlastic.com, where you'll always find my latest guides and content. If you're interested in exploring all the techniques and models from that series, please make sure to check it out. Each volume is packed with tips, process photos, and detailed guides. Nothing quite says reality like reality. Real paint chips at this scale have a natural authenticity and coolness that is hard to replicate with purely painted effects. The way light interacts with the chipped and abraded surfaces brings out depth and texture, making your model look dynamic and alive. And that's it for today's stage of weathering. Simple tools, thoughtful layering, and a bit of storytelling bring the Abrasion Real Chipping techniques to life. If you've enjoyed this quick breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for the next video where I'll demonstrate how to create a faux lunar dust finish to complete the look. For exclusive content like extended tutorials and behind the scenes insights, and to get first dibs on new releases, please join my Patreon. Your support not only keeps this channel alive, but also unlocks unique benefits for you.